This survey, and especially this part, were inspired after a conversation I had with a dude. He told me that he really hates Babymetal and that according to him, they were not real musicians and they are just idols dancing. I personally disagreed with the overall sentiment. They are excellent at what they do. I wanted to dig into how Babymetal fans perceive them in relation to this, and if this is an element that makes them appreciate Babymetal more or less. So, here we are. A few months ago, I shared a survey for Babymetal fans. My goal was to understand what the fans like about Babymetal, why they like it, and what makes them special. When I work on fandom analysis, it means that something sparked my curiosity. For Bondmade, it was the fans' hardcore dedication and Orange's Discord. For The Warning, it was what makes older generation of rock enthusiasts like The Warning so much. And for Babymetal, I want to understand who are the people who love this very unique concept. Because sometimes metal fans can be a bit purist or elitist or old school. And Babymetal goes very hard, but it's definitely very pop, fun, it has a cute side, and it mixes metal music with some aspects of the idol culture. So I want to understand who are the people who appreciate this unique mix. And today I'm going to tell you what I found out. In this video I will focus a bit more on what the fans like about Babymetal and why, rather than specifically who they are like in the previous fandom analysis that I did. And I'm going to do a strong focus on the unique concept and if the fans perceive Babymetal as a metal band, given the fact that they don't perform the instruments on stage or in the studio, given their involvement, given the special things that make the band. It's going to be the last part, it's my favorite, just bear with me. But first, hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, I'm your host Leo. On this channel I do music reactions and deep dives into artists, albums, the music industry, fandoms, and I focus on women in alternative rock and metal music. So if this sounds like your thing, hit that subscribe button and activate the bell. I want to give a huge thank you to all the people who took the time to fill my survey, because a lot of people took the time to write me very detailed answers with a lot of information, and it was extremely precious to write this video, so thank you so much for all of this. On the screen right now you're going to see the list of all the people who agreed to have a shout out in this video. All of these people are people who filled the survey, so thank you, you are all absolute rock stars. And before I start, of course, I want to give a huge shout out to my amazing Patreons. Thank you so much for going the extra mile to support my channel. It is much appreciated. But off to Babymetal, shall we? So usually I start my fandom analysis with a part that recaps the story of the band, but with Babymetal I had a lot to say, so I did a full video on their story, maybe you've seen it, but I will put the link in the description, so if you're not familiar with their story, or if you want to see the way I presented it in my detective way with the board that I built, I have the link in the description, you can go watch it. Or it can be useful if you really don't know anything about them. And honestly, this was me a while ago, but after I worked on the deep dive of their story and this fandom analysis, I really feel caught up, and like it's nice to know so much about them because I really understand kind of everything that's going on, and I also feel like I really understand their paths as artists, and it's really nice. And I can't wait for their next album now. Also, I'm going to see them in May 28th. I'm ready. Poppy is opening for them. As you can see, I have some Poppy merch on. I'm excited. This is going to be the concert for me. Like, I'm blessed. Also, I know that I've made a few mistakes in my deep dive on Babymetal, so if you watch the video, I pinned a comment that corrects me and brings other information on the things that I was mistaken on, so yeah, don't forget to also check out this comment and leave a like to the person who took the time to write it. Let me draw you a small portrait of some of the fans of Babymetal, because the first question that we have to work on is who are these people? Like, what is the demographic here? So here I am going to start dressing you the portrait of the respondents to my survey. I had 207 fans of Babymetal answer it, so we have quite a bit of material to work on here. How old are the fans of Babymetal? And what's their gender? So keep in mind that the answers are influenced by the fact that half of the respondents come from videos of mine, and my audience on YouTube is mostly men. Like, honestly, it's like 94% of men watching my channel. So this is also playing on the demographics that I have in the survey. But I also had 100 answers coming from the Babymetal subreddit because I shared my survey there, and about half of the users of Reddit are women. So from the people that answered on Reddit, I wouldn't say that there was a specific gender bias. And basically it's from business.reddit.com, like the specific insights that Reddit gives to the people who want to advertise on Reddit. Anyway, so I had 9.7% of the respondents who indicated that they are women. So this is a little bit more than what I have in my audience. And I also had 2.4% of respondents who indicated that they are non-binary, so go gender non-conformist. So I was trying to calculate because I wrote down the numbers for women and non-binary people, thinking, oh, I'm just going to calculate like what I'm filming, like the percentage of men. But as you can see, I struggled. So 88% of respondents are men, which is a lot. We're having a huge majority here, but it's a tiny bit less than what I had on previous survey. So diversity, I guess. Regarding the age of the respondents, 25.2% of respondents are between 18 and 29, so that would be me. 19.9% are between 50 and 59. 20% are between 50 and 59. 19% are between 30 and 39. 19% are between 40 and 49. 7.8% are between 60 and 69. I had 7.3% of respondents who are minors, and since STIs are increasing amongst the young people, please, I do not care who you are screwing, I am just begging you to remember to wear protection when you're having sex. And 2% of respondents are between 70 and 79. The rules about protection also apply to other demographics, by the way. So if you look at these answers, it's quite intergenerational, I think. And I thought this was quite interesting because it's rare to see a concept that is popular amongst a huge bracket of generations. And I think you can explain that with Babymetal because the hard sounds, the metal aspects are going to bring in maybe the older generation, and some aspects maybe that are more pop cultural are also going to attract younger demographics, but also younger demographics can also be attracted to metal. I just think this might explain why it is so diverse, especially compared to my previous surveys. So this is quite interesting, and I think it speaks to the quality of Babymetal and the uniqueness of their concept. Now, where are my respondents from? I'm going to give you the top list of countries. So 34% of respondents are from the US, 9.2% are from the UK, 4.4% are from Canada, 3.9%, so 4% are from France, 4% are from Brazil, 3.4% are from Australia, 3% are from the Netherlands, 2.4% are from Spain, and 2% are from Mexico. We had a total of 41 countries in the answers, so let me list the other countries to you. We also had Belgium, Bolivia, Czechia, Chile, China, Colombia, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Indonesia, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Lebanon, Macedonia, Malaysia, Norway, Peru, Philippines, Poland, Portugal, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Slovakia, South Africa, Sweden, Switzerland, and Thailand. I have to be honest, I was surprised that Japan wasn't more prevalent in the answers because I only had like 1 or 2 people who said they were from Japan. But again, since I make my videos in English, I have a lot of people from the US, the UK, and Europe who are going to watch it. So yeah, it explains it. but that's still very low. Okay, now that we are caught up in who they are, we are going to check out what music they like. And this part is kind of my guilty pleasure, mon petit kiff, comme on dit en français. And it's especially interesting here because Babymetal mixes different styles of music. So understanding what music their fans listen to was extremely interesting to me. So I asked people, what music genres do you listen to? And we had 78.2% of respondents who listened to metal. Are we surprised here? 70.19% who listened to rock, 41% who listened to pop, 30.1% who listened to electronic music, 20.4% who listened to indie music, 9.7% who listened to rap, 9.2% to blues, 6.8% to R&B, and 5.8% to lofi. And some people also added some genres that I hadn't put in the survey, like K-pop, punk, folk protest songs, classical music, jazz, and other shenanigans. So this is quite interesting to me. I checked out again the results on my The Warning fandom survey. 96% of respondents indicated that they listen to rock, and here it's fallen to 70%. In the Warning survey, we had 60% of people who listened to metal, but here metal is the top genre that the Babymetal fans listen to, with almost 80% of people who listen to this genre. And I think this is my survey where we had the most people who listened to pop music, because 41% indicated they listened to pop, and it was only 24% in my The Warning survey. So, quite interesting, I like it. The next thing that I like to ask is, what's your favorite music era? 22.3% of the respondents indicated that they prefer music from the 90s, 21.4% that they prefer music from the 80s, 21.4% from the 2000s, 14.1% from the 2010s, 11.7% from the 2020s, and we had 1% of respondents who prefer music from the 60s. I personally think that I would have answered music from the 2020s because I really like all of the new things that are emerging in this decade. So yeah, but it is still people who prefer some old school music. That's interesting. Next, I like to know which country's music people listen to the most. And in this survey, the top country was Japan, which is interesting because usually the US is topping the answers in my survey. But here, Japan is first, 46.6% of respondents listen to music from Japan, 28.2% listen to music from the USA, 10% to music from the UK, 3% to music from Germany, 3% to music from Sweden, and 5% to music from South Korea. Interesting. We also had Spain, Hungary, Chile, Canada, Italy, Finland, Philippines, Iceland, China, Slovakia, and France mentioned. And it's super interesting because I had quite a few people who told me that they listened to more music from Japan, or that they started to listen to music from Japan thanks to Babymetal specifically. So I think this really speaks to the fact that Babymetal has done a great job at exporting Japanese music. If you're having a good time watching this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe, and activate the bell because it also makes me super happy. Next, we are going to talk about the fans and their relationship to Babymetal. With this section of questions, what I try to understand and judge is if the fandom is recent, if it's mostly people who have been there since the beginning. I kind of try to have the cursor of where are we with like how recent the fans are, and also how they discovered the band. How long have you been a fan of Babymetal? I had 18.4% of people who indicated they are fans since 2021-2022, around the 10-year celebration of the band. 18% indicated that they became fans after the fourth album that was out in 2023. 14.1% indicated that they are fans since 2014 with their first album. So these fans, they've been there. 11.7% indicated that they are fans since 2024, and that would include me. 10.2% indicated that they are fans since their third album in the 2019-2020 era. 9.2% indicated that they are fans since 2016 with their second album. 7.8% indicated that they are fans since 2017-2018. 3.4% since 2013, 2.8% since 2011-2012, 1.9% since the pure debut of the band. So it's like 8% of the OGs, the real pure OGs, you know? And 2.4% of people who indicated they've been fans since around 2015 after their first world tour. The next question that interests me is, how did you discover the band? Here I'm kind of trying to understand what is the main source of discovery. And in the answers there was a big prevalence of YouTube, and it has been the case for my two previous fandom analysis. So we have to keep in mind that since we are the YouTube community, you know, we are people, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you're watching a lot of YouTube, so do I, and I think this is like influencing the results. Even though YouTube is a powerful tool to promote musicians, especially in the 2010s. 32% of respondents indicated that they discovered Babymetal through YouTube recommendation, so the algorithm. 10.6% answered that they discovered Babymetal thanks to YouTube reactions specifically. 11.6% discovered Babymetal thanks to word of mouth, so through friends, families, their coworkers, and everything. 6.3% discovered Babymetal specifically at live shows or festivals. 6% discovered them through other social media such as TikTok and Instagram. 3.1% discovered them through the TV shows or the films that they were featured in or for which they wrote music. 5% discovered them thanks to collabs with other artists. And 12% discovered them specifically with the song Give Me Chocolate. Gimme chocolate. So that's the power of being kawaii. Why did I do that? I don't know. Here are some other answers that I thought were worth sharing. Someone said, I listened to them in 2013 and 2014 and I didn't like it. Then I got a free ticket for their Paris concert in December 2023. You lucky bastard. Went out of curiosity because it could be fun, and I had my mind absolutely blown by how amazing their performance was. And I think that's something that's very cool with Babymetal, is that it proves to people, like, it changes their mind, and I think that it also speaks to the open-mindedness of the fans. Someone said, I knew they existed, but I remembered and liked them after the collab with Electric Callboy. I thought it was creepy to like them when they were kids. Which is a strong opinion. I maybe shared a little bit, but I talk about that in my deep dive on them. Someone said that they discovered them through the Usenet. And I had to Google what this means, I have to be honest here, so let me check. The Usenet is an early non-centralized computer network for the discussion of particular topics and the sharing of files. I don't know, I still don't know what this means. Like, is it just like, I don't know. If you have a better definition, tell me. And someone said, a bit of a long story. I first heard of the existence of Babymetal around 2016 when I used to be in elitist metal Facebook groups, and it was common to talk trash about them and other bands. Not cool, not cool. Honestly, I will never understand people gathering together to hate on others. Like, don't you want to be in like a group talking about things that you like? Like, do you have time for that? Like, in this economy, you have time to be a hater? Some people have too much time, I swear. I continue. Later, I heard either Karate, ROR, or Gimme Chocolate and thinking the instrumental was crazy good, but not knowing how to feel about the vocals. So I started listening to them ironically. Yeah, right. Finally, I heard Tales of the Destinies and thought it was so amazing that I overcame my doubts about the vocals and stopped feeling guilty about actually liking them. And here, bro, you stepped into your power. You had prejudices and you overcame them and you found something that you like. That's so nice. Like, that's so nice, honestly. Now, I love these questions. I love these answers. It's so interesting. I love geeking about facts, so I hope you're as happy as me right now. Because next, we're going to focus specifically. Aujourd'hui, j'ai du mal. Okay. So, what do the fans like most about Babymetal regarding the albums, the songs, and the performances? I know, so many interesting answers, right? I like the question, what is your favorite album? And honestly, look at this beautiful split. It is so even. That's really beautiful. Like, you have a prevalence for the other one and Babymetal, but like, honestly, it's almost quarters. Like, it's beautiful. This is very satisfying to see for me. The top album is the other one with 29.1% of people for who it is their favorite album. 27.7% prefer Babymetal. 22.3% prefer Metal Resistance. And 20.9% prefer Metal Galaxy. Honestly, pretty even. It's beautiful. Next question was, what is your favorite song? And it's a question that everybody hates, I know, but you can't escape it. Okay, so I still had 15.5% of people who said that they like all of the songs or that they cannot choose. And although I understand your indecisiveness, I still lean an answer, okay? But it's fine. So I'm going to give you like the top songs. It's so interesting. The top 2 songs are Headbanger and Monochrome, with 17 people for each who indicated that it is their favorite song. Then we have Megitsune with 16 people. Then Yava with 14 people. Akatsuki with 12 people, Syncopation with 9 people, and I can't really pronounce that, but I'm going to try. Idime Delmit Detail, I hope it's pronounced right, don't mock me, with 6 people, Karate with 6 people, Shine with 5 people, Road of Resistance and Tales of Destiny with 4 people each, Arcadia, Brand New Day, and From Dusk Till Dawn with 3 people each. There were other songs that were mentioned, but here are the ones that had several people voting for them. So kudos to Headbanger and Monochrome. I feel like those are huge staples of Babymetal music career, and honestly, they're very cool. So I wasn't surprised when I saw these two. I think Monochrome is also in my top, and I could have named it as my favorite one. The first impression I had of this song was my reaction to the piano version. It's on my Patreon if you're interested. And then I listened to the normal studio version, and it's been on repeat, I have to be honest. And since Babymetal is quite unusual, and on top of their songs, something that is very important in their career are the performances, I asked, what is your favorite Babymetal performance? I know it's good, right? I had 11 people who said all. It kind of defeats the purpose of having a favorite one, but okay. 9 people said none. So I think that by that they mean like they can't choose. And this question is here because Babymetal, they are performers at heart, you know, and the shows are a huge part of why people love them. And it's not just like the studio versions, like the live experience is very important. The top shows that were cited in the answers are: the top show is Legend MM, with 29 people indicating that it is their favorite performance. A reminder, Legend MM is the show where they announced that Momo Metal was joining the band permanently, and specifically in this show people indicated Momo Banger as their favorite performance, Arcadia in the specific Legend MM version as their favorite performance. And then from this show, some people also mention For the Fox God, Momotaro, and Yava as their favorite performance. Then, the second performance that was mentioned the most was the one from Tokyo Dome in 2016, with the Red Knight and Black Knight coming back a lot in the answers. And a few people mentioned Road of Resistance from the Tokyo Dome performance as their fave. Then we had 15 people mentioning the Legend 1999 and 1997 as their favorite one, with specifically Akatsuki and Catch Me If You Can as the favorite performances. Then we have the PIA Arena show from 2023, with 15 people indicating it is their fave performance, with specifically Monochrome, Divine Attack, Clear Night, and Metal Kingdom. Then we had the Budokan performance from 2014 with the Black Knight and the Red Knight, with 11 people saying it is their fave performance, and some specific songs from this show that were mentioned are Rondo of Nightmare and Akatsuki. And finally, the top performance that was mentioned by 9 people is Legend M, which was celebrating Moa Metal's 20th birthday, which is a milestone in Japan, and it took place in her hometown, Nagoya, with people mentioning the Moa Banger and the Shine performances as their favorites. There were some other mentions. Some people mentioned Legend Metal Galaxy, the Yokohama 2015 show, the Sonisphere Festival from 2014. Someone said the Kingslayer performance with Bring Me the Horizon. We also had some mentions of Babymetal Awakens, Babymetal Returns, Babymetal Arises, Babymetal Begins, the 2017 Fox Festival, and the 10-year anniversary shows in Budokan in 2021. That's a lot! And finally, to understand why the fans love Babymetal, I simply asked them, and I asked, why are you a fan of Babymetal? I'm going to read you some specific answers, but the top reasons that were coming back were the great music of the band, the mix of metal music and kawaii performances, Sue Metal's vocals specifically, the quality of their performances, their dedication as performers and their work ethics, their positive and fun energy that makes people happy, and the fact that for a lot of people it revived their love of metal music. Some answers that I wanted to highlight are this person saying, "It is fresh and new, made me want to play my bass again." And if this isn't the best thing that music can do to you, but like revive a passion or like wanting to play an instrument, I find it so amazing. Someone saying, "I discovered them about 2 months before my grandmother passed away. The happy, cute music helped me through it. I've been a fan ever since." Then, regarding their metal music, here are a few answers that I wanted to highlight. "Having been a metal fan for a long time, I got tired of metal music that was always dark and depressing and wanted to listen to something that was heavy but more positive. Babymetal are heavy but also melodic, and their songs and the culture around the band are all very positive. And I definitely identify with that. Cut through the stagnant metal scene single-handed and a breath of fresh air, their work ethic and originality, even at a young age, begged the audience to take notice and feel their power and fearlessness, and now years later still continue to amaze with their style and cross-genre blending to appeal to a larger audience. Regardless of language, their music speaks its own language. Because I feel like they are the breath of fresh air that metal music needed. Everyone involved is also incredibly talented, musicians, producers, and obviously the girls. In addition, their music transmits happiness and fun, not to mention the live shows that are the best I have ever been to. Fresh take on metal, make metal enjoyable. I like the blend of kawaii and metal. They shook up what was, in my opinion, a metal scene that was getting a bit stale. They were and are something fresh and unique that always surprises with the music they put out. Metal has always been my favorite genre. Finding idol metal was a game changer. Because they bring fun to metal, which is something most metal fans have forgotten about. Plus, I like the idea of having choreography in metal, and Sue's voice is just so heartwarming. Regarding Sue's voice, some examples. Something in Sue's voice just creates emotion in me. I also admire the way they received a lot of negativity in the metal scene, but they pushed on, and now I feel people don't hate on them as much anymore. Then Sue Metal voice over the wall of sound. The deeper meaning of most of the songs, Yui Metal, Moa Metal, and Momo Metal, interpretive choreographies, and more. Regarding the shows, they are the only concert I've been to where I felt happy, Unique sounds and fun songs to dance, mosh to. Their music just hits different. I never knew I needed a Japanese girl group doing choreographed dancing to metal music prior to Ratata, but now I know it's the best thing that has ever happened to music for me. Then, regarding their work ethic and uniqueness, they've gone from being a gimmicky band to a mature, artistically outstanding band. Basically, all of their songs are good, they're often harder than most metal bands, they're extremely talented. Sue Metal is a wonderful singer who now also sometimes writes the lyric. They're always fun to watch, they clearly enjoy what they're doing, and they're unique. Without Babymetal, we wouldn't have Bondmaid, Love Bites, Nemophila, and Bondmaid is my favorite band. You have Taste King. And no, I don't consider Babymetal being an idol band. This is going to go back to a question that I asked. I found their story to be incredibly inspiring, and that, combined with their powerful performances and uplifting music, helped me through a really tough time. The courage and dedication they have to do what they've been doing since before they were even teenagers will never cease to amaze me. I appreciate the group effort of many individuals who comprise of Babymetal: the producer, songwriters, choreographer, backing band, and of course the performers themselves. I like how diverse they are. I also like how back in 2014 people would say that they would fade away, and they haven't. They unapologetically combine hyper-femininity with metal, and I think it's very cool in this age male-dominated genre. Yes, me too, this is why I love them. Top tier visuals, costumes, shows, merch, and very unique sound. Because they are special and Sue is a born superstar. Hell yeah, she is. And finally, I wrote this in a college essay. There's a band I hold dear called Babymetal. Their journey has profoundly shaped my view not only of their music but of the industry as a whole. Their path on road of resistance, the passion, the connection. Babymetal started from the very bottom with nothing but a dream, and they thought their way to be the one with sheer dedication and without taking shortcuts. They've brought their fans along for every twist and turn, making each one of us feel like we are the one. Their music isn't just sound, it's a syncopation of growth, resilience, and unity that resonates on a deeply human level. It's the kind of story you can't make up, the kind of connection that can't be manufactured. Their journey is living legend that no one can replace, the heart and soul that true artists pour into their work. And finally, regarding how fun they are, they brought back the metal for me. They are fun, authentic, and super hardworking. Sue sings like a goddess, never sexualized. I find the pop metal mix is super fun, they have amazing stage presence, and I also adore their early outfits. I also think they are just really nice people. Also, the lore is cool. I loved that the metal aspects of it felt legitimate and well crafted while seamlessly blending pop elements to make it sound fun. I also caught on a bit early in their rise, so in an odd way, I felt a sense of parental-like pride for the girls as they reached new successes. Because they are fun and lighthearted, which is rare in the metal world, and their performances are so fun. Part number 4. Let's talk about Babymetal's fandom environment, what makes them special, and are there dark sides. So yeah, here with my questions, what I try to understand is what makes the fandom specific, what are the traditions that fans share, and are there specifically toxic sides to the fandom. And these questions always come back in my surveys because I don't think that we should sweep the bad under the rug, by the way. So my first question in this section is there any traditions in the fandom of Babymetal? You need to learn the lore. That's what I'm trying to do here. And honestly, it's also a super useful question for me because now I'm really caught up on the different traditions and I understand everything that I see better. So people mention the Fox Day, which is April 1st, the fox hand signed instead of the devil horns that you see in metal, the Kitsune or the fox god that apparently created Babymetal, sharing the hashtag not a cult, typing OTFGK on Reddit, which means only the fox god knows, doing the choreographies at the shows, writing Jime Damit Setai as IDZ, bowing during the performances of Headbanger, weathering towels during Papaya, sharing gifts amongst fans, being the one, so being whole as a fandom and with the band, and having to sing when Sue tells you to. And here are some answers that I wanted to highlight. Yes, especially among Japanese fans, Western fans had some years ago bringing and throwing play paper money, custom made with Babymetal faces, in the air during Onedari Daizakutsen, is one I participated in, but that song isn't performed anymore. Oh, and many fans everywhere who are the ones to line up very early outside the venue all day will bring and exchange small fan-made Babymetal themed items and keepsakes. Someone said probably. Next questions. So that's the fun part. That's me trying to understand what are the specific traditions, and Babymetal have a lot of them. And they only get funnier and cuter, honestly. So being part of the Babymetal fandom honestly seems like a lot of fun. And as someone who's like entering in the fandom, I can tell that I've only had fun so far. But I have to get to 2 dark questions. I know, but it's the only negative part of this video, I promise you. My first question was, has there ever been fans who misconducted with Babymetal? And I had 136 people. 66% of people indicated that no, there hasn't been, or they don't know. Regarding the people who had some things to say, usually the fans are always respectful to Babymetal and bring them gifts to concerts, especially Moa. They like giving her pillishes on stage, but one concert had some party crashers that started throwing water bottles on stage, but the girls handled it very professionally. And honestly, yeah, the girls are huge professionals, like come on, we forget how young they are. But yeah, this is so annoying. Don't throw shit on the stage. You are the reason why when we go to concert venues in France, like they take the caps off. So if you have a water bottle, you can't close it during the show. And it's so inconvenient because what am I going to do with a bottle like that? It's open. It's going to spill on me. It's going to spill on my bag. It's so annoying. This is something that pisses me so much. Okay. Anyway, not to my knowledge, but there are always creepy and weird fans in every fandom though. True. The only thing I've seen that would be misconduct with the girls themselves is when people would take pictures up their skirt when they were younger. What is wrong with the world? Oh my god, why would you do that? This is so fucking creepy. Moving on. Some follow them around outside of shows, like at an airport, and record them when clearly they don't want to talk to anyone. And this is something that I never understood. Again, don't you have things to do? Like, following people at the airport or at their hotel or stuff like that. Like, do we not have things to do in this economy? Like, do you not have time? You don't have time to go protest the fact that your rights are being ripped away, but you have time to follow Babymetal around? Someone said I'm on the fence about tossing things onto the stage, and honestly, no, don't throw things in the stage, like it can be dangerous. Someone said I haven't been fan long enough to know, but I found the obsession that some fans have with Yui Metal very creepy. She left the band when she was 15 or 16, and yet they keep sharing pics of her captioned "My beautiful angel" gross. Yes, unfortunately, when Momo Metal joined the group, some fans did not agree and made comparisons between her and Yui Metal, even though 5 years had passed since she left the band. Someone said, not that I'm aware of, Babymetal doesn't really do any meet and greets, and the members also don't have any social media of their own, so bad eggs of the fandom don't really have any chances to do any misconduct. Someone said, not with the trio, but with the Avengers. Not cool. I heard that some fans said that Momoko is fat. That was very sad for me. If anyone said that, that's insane. That's purely insane. I don't know if this counts, but especially around their international boom, there were a lot of white knights who would attack anyone and everyone who disagreed or talked negatively of Babymetal, and it was putting a bad taste in other people's mouths. Unknown but doubtful due to Babymetal being strictly off limits to contact and staying private. And someone said, not that I know of, but if anyone did, I'd rip their heads off. Let's go. Someone said, yes, US tour 2018, and I was quite surprised, like I did not really understand what it was referring to, so I looked on Reddit, and someone enlightened me in the comments of a post. The infamous cancel Kansas City of 2018 incident is about the first showstop of 2018 in, you guessed it, Kansas City. With no prior warning, Yui was missing from the performance and people flipped the fuck out. There were no answers for a long time until Amuse had to say that Yui would not be performing for the 2018 tour because she was ill. As bad as Amuse handled the situation, the attitude of fans was just abysmal. Along with Yui's absence, Babymetal debuted new outfits that were not received well at the time for the stupidest reasons. Then there were two other dancers on stage who were deemed muscle metal by fans, and a lot of people hated that too. Even on the sub, there was just an unbelievable amount of toxicity if you read posts back then when it all happened. Moa in particular has talked about 2018 being a really tough experience that was necessary for her to grow, but she wouldn't ever want to go back to it. Another ironic thing is that as bad as 2018 was on media press side of things, it has to be one of the strongest performing years of Babymetal ever. They were dancing their asses off on stage like they had nothing left to lose, and as much as I agree that Babymetal fits the 3-person triangle formation the most, the Chosen 7 during Dark Knight Carnival was incredible. I think looking back on it, more people are appreciating the Dark Side Chosen 7 era for what it was, but as it was happening, it was so negative for no reason other than to take shots at random, unrelated aspects of the show just because of Yui's disappearance. And someone said, trust me, they handled it way badly. That is how some of us responded, waiting for quiet moments in the concert to scream out, "Where's Yui?" to Sue and Moa. Babymetal could not post anything on Twitter or Instagram without thousands of "Where is Yui?" hashtags in response, many spewing vitriol as if Team Babymetal were serial killers. This Reddit was a constant flood of "evil Koba," "evil Muse," "Sue and Moa are ugly," and especially "Babymetal is dead" threads. For the first time, I understood all those folks who would say, "I like Babymetal, I cannot stand their fans." The orifices of the south and of northbound mules within the fandom certainly bared their fangs. Wow, this is beautifully said, honestly. So yeah, this does not look like a fun time, honestly. Before I move on to the next question, let me just take a tiny second to promote my Patreon. I have the extra vibing tier where I post extra content on it from 2 to 4 videos depending on the month, and the Patreons who are a member of this tier have priority over the requests. And there are a few extra Babymetal reactions on there if you're interested. I also asked people if there had been bad or dangerous behaviors, and 54% of respondents indicated that they don't know or that according to them there hasn't been any. But in the people who gave an answer, we had just look at Twitter AI porn as far as you can see, even of them. People take pictures under their skirts and post them. What is wrong with y'all? Someone said, I guess you don't know about Rule 34. And someone brought this up to me in another fandom survey, and Rule 34 is, if it exists, there is porn of it. If not, start uploading. Disgusting. Not that I know of, at least not in my circle. There are no famous or known cases of harassment towards the girls, which is cool. Possibly, at least in terms of AI or Photoshop porn, that's bound to be out there. There is a bad Reddit substack, very sexualized. Some creepy fans on 4chan. Someone mentioned a crazy guy who seems to believe he's married to Sue Metal. But honestly, it doesn't seem like there have been two dangerous instances where the girls could have been in danger, and some people have pointed out to me that they are very protected by Amuse and that their environment seems to be safe, they seem to be protected, and it looks like they're able to, enjoy themselves. The girls look very close, and even though they are creeps online and it's absolutely disgusting and tiring, it looks like they are quite protected. And also the fact that they don't have personal social media, I think, protects them from a lot of things. Yeah, from what I've seen, it seems like they are guarded from some of the worst that could happen to them as women who are that famous, so it's quite nice to see. Woo, baby! We're moving on to the last part of this video. Do Babymetal fans perceive Babymetal as idols? Honestly, this survey, and especially this part, were inspired after a conversation I had with a dude. He told me that he really hates Babymetal and that according to him, they were not real musicians and they are just idols dancing. So I personally disagreed with the overall sentiment, and I disagreed with he was entitled to his opinion, but I personally think that when you have a finished product, a finished song, finished performances, usually you don't see it, but there is a lot of work from a lot of different people going into it, and it's very rare to have artists who are going to write the lyrics and the music and produce the song and mix it and prepare the performances on their own. Like, it almost never happens. And even if someone is able to do that, you're still going to have a lot of people who are specialized in very specific aspects of everything who are going to work with them to make sure, the song or the performance are as perfect as they can be. And in some instances, and it's the case with Babymetal, it is quite compartmentalized, but I don't think that it takes away from the quality of the work of anyone or that it makes anyone's work less worthy. So for example, the fact that the three main girls are mostly working on the vocals and the dances because they are performing, I still think that they are very important, and what they do has a lot of weight and is honestly worthy of being impressed because they are excellent at what they do. And yes, besides that, you're going to have extremely talented musicians who are going to perform the instruments, who are going to write the instrumental parts. You have Babymetal who produces the songs, but I don't think that it takes anything away from what our three girls are doing. I don't think that the fact they have a choreographer takes away from what good dancers they are. I just think that sometimes you have specific projects who are going to be crafted by a lot of different people who are excellent at their specific craft. So yeah, in my opinion, this makes Babymetal very interesting and it doesn't take anything away from anyone's talent in the team. So this is why I wanted to do this part. And so basically, I wanted to dig into how Babymetal fans perceive them in relation to this, and if this is an element that makes them appreciate Babymetal more or less. So the first question that I asked in this section is, do you consider Babymetal a metal band? And here you could answer yes, they are, even if they don't play in usual metal fashion. It's metal music. No, they are idols who sing metal. Or no, they are idols. No one answered no, they are idols, but we had around 5% of people who answered no, they are idols who sing metal. So we have a very small portion of the fandom who shares this sentiment, even if here in this instance it's not going to be something that makes them appreciate Babymetal less. And we had 95.2% of people who consider Babymetal a metal band. And yeah, I thought it was nice because I think it also speaks to how Babymetal shook up the industry a little bit and expanded people's vision of what metal and what a metal performer can be. Next, I wanted to ask the question, would you like Babymetal more if they played instruments on stage? And yeah, as I had spoken with this dude and I had seen this critique a few times from people who don't appreciate them, I was curious to know, would people like them more if they played? And given the answers, we only had 5% of people saying that they would prefer Babymetal if the girls played the instruments, but we had half of the respondents who don't care, and 45% of the respondents who say they prefer the show anyway. So I thought this was very interesting. But yeah, it's a very tiny, small portion of the fandom who would like to see them play the instruments. I personally really don't care if they play the instruments on stage or in the studio, because like regarding the songs, working on the vocals is already a huge job. And we even have Sue who writes sometimes on the songs, so honestly it really is their band, and I personally don't give a fuck. Then, since I had seen a few people compare them to idol culture or like still think about their roots in it, I asked the question, do you like the idol culture? And 57% of people don't care. So honestly, it's not that big of a deal, at least amongst the people who answered this survey. We have 26.6% of people who say that they like idol culture, so amongst the people who give a fuck, it's the majority. We have 11.1% of people who don't like idol culture, and 5% of people who are huge fans of idol culture. So yeah, a small portion who are huge fans, some who like it, many who don't care, and some who don't like it. So of course, I asked them why. Someone said Babymetal aren't idols since Babymetal went independently. Someone said they like it mainly because it creates a connection with their daughter who's a huge idol fan, and honestly, I just love when parents grow an interest to match the interest of their child. Like, what do you mean? This is adorable. Okay, parents, I see you. Shout out to parents, by the way. Then, regarding some positive things that people like. I like the aspect of an artist being good at multiple things at the same time and also being good looking and basically perfect, but at the same time, blind idealization and worship are not allowing criticism at all, and it's bad. Of course, there are bad parts, as there are with anything, but I just try not to be the one of the bad parts. I love watching idols improve, and the choreographies always make performances more engaging for me. Rooting for a group and watching them grow makes me feel happy for them, and even though we don't actually know each other, and I'm someone who loves to get invested in consequential things, so it's the perfect niche for me. Yes, for the way they treat their fans with a lot of respect. I like their energetic dance, makes you energetic when listening, watching it too. I think it can be fun when idols are treated fairly. I like the sense of community it can offer. Cute girls, cute outfits, happy music, because I think it's funny to buy things related to a person's image you like, decorate your room with this stuff, and look up to them. I like good musical performance, vocal, instrumental, and good lyrics. That makes the music good. If the performers are nice people, that is just a bonus. I like that their performances are fun and they have cool choreographies, because I love the way that the music sounds. It sounds so different than Western pop, and it sounds so satisfying to me. Idol culture is simply part of Japanese culture. I find it cool and different from other metal fandoms. The girls are very talented, not only in singing but acting and dancing as well. Then a question I ask is, do you think some negative aspects of idols culture are present in the fandom of Babymetal? 48% think that yes, some negative aspects of idol culture are present in the fandom of Babymetal, 28% don't think that, and 24% are unsure. Some answers I wanted to highlight. The charge is very strict in relation to what happens to the band. Momo was very apprehensive when she was announced as a new member for fear that she would be rejected by fans who still love Yui, the member who left in 2017. Yeah, objectification, it's hard to say, definitely plays a part, and I reckon some people purely like the band because Moa and Momo put on the cutesy vibe. I think it's a bit creepy sometimes. I am generally negative about kid performers, not that they're adults, it's great. Yes, like stalking, video recording without permission, jealousy from fans. Some of the fandom believe it is their right to access the private lives of Babymetal. They want social media for the girls. Worship the members excessively. In idol culture, they're usually idolize one member and sometimes they will worship that member excessively. Yes, like how obsessive some people get over Yui even though she is no longer in the band. Yes, some people are overly infatuated with the members, it just makes it weird. Yes, the girls aren't given enough breaks. Then I asked people, Do you think Babymetal brought something positive to metal music? And there was literally not a single negative answer to this question. People were super enthusiastic in the answers to this question. So let me share with you what the respondents to this survey think Babymetal brought to metal music. First, the fact that it promoted women in metal. Then the positivity they bring to the stage. This brought something positive for Japanese culture because it promoted it. It brought a mix of genre in the metal scene. It encouraged inclusion in metal. It promoted metal on the mainstream stage. It brought innovation and it broke barriers, and it brought a younger audience to metal. And that speaks to one of the first questions of this survey regarding the age, where I was surprised because the diversity in the age groups was more than what I had in my previous surveys. Some answers that I wanted to highlight. Babymetal showed that metal can be for anyone. No matter your age, race, gender, you are welcome in the metal community. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it's a revolutionary phenomenon, works as welcome for beginners in the genre. Yes, change and originality. They brought melody back to metal. Yes, metal needs fun, not so serious bands. Absolutely, yes, it's disruptive. We have seen the change and the wave of female-led band coming from Japan. Absolutely positive for the genre, pushing boundaries, challenging the status quo. I love it. Yes, I love it when a band simply has fun making music and when they bravely explore new ideas. A lot of metal fans can be very elitist and try to claim that Babymetal isn't metal. For me, metal is doing whatever you want and having fun with it. Babymetal have made good music and helped people discover a love for music, which is a great thing. Absolutely. Yes, innovation is what drives any medium forward. Absolutely. Younger audience, I consider them a gateway band as it ignited my interest in other Japanese groups and bands. Yes, they broke stereotypes in the genre. Yes, they showed that metal music doesn't have to be fronted by men to be good and that metal doesn't have to be about serious topics. It can sometimes also be about wanting some chocolate or panicking about not having enough time in the morning. I think in that sense they were trailblazer, and bands like Hanabiye are following in their footsteps, minus the idol aspect. Yes, they brought diversity in the metal community and a growth of Japanese people and even women-fronted bands in the metal community. Absolutely, they created a space for a weird little preteen to enjoy the metal scene and explore new music genres. I love these answers. And I thought this was the perfect note to finish this video. Oh my god. I can't believe I finished this video. I have been filming for an hour and 40 minutes at this point. So I don't know how long the video is going to be, but I think again it's going to be a very long video. This will be a doozy to edit. And here, my friends, was my expose on the fandom of Babymetal. I'll repeat what I said in the introduction of this video, but thank you so much to all the people who took the time to fill my survey, who took the time to write these detailed answers with so many precious information. I really appreciate it. And honestly, this gave me all of the material I needed to write this video and study the fandom. So thank you, thank you. Thank you. If you made it this far, please like this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Do you identify with some, all, or none of the things that were said in this video? Share this video to spread the word. If you want to support my work, I leave the link of my Patreon in the description. Only do that if you have extra cash that you don't need, by the way. To make me super happy, please subscribe and activate the bell. I was your host, Leo. This was my expose and the results of my survey on the fandom of Babymetal, and I will see you very soon. Bye!